according to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, about 80% of U.S. adults take some form of caffeine every day. Today I'd like to inform you the effects that caffeine has on your body. Everyone here either drinks caffeine or has had some form of caffeine in their life, or if you don't think you have, you know someone that does. I personally drink a ton of caffeine, so I've done a lot of research on how it affects my body and different parts of my body. In my speech, I'm going to talk about a few different types of caffeine, what it does to you, how it affects your brain, and the long-term effects it has on you. To begin, my first main point, I want to talk about some different types of caffeine, specifically 3 most common types of caffeine. Caffeine, by definition, is a drug that stimulates the central nervous system, causing increased heart rate and alertness. So first, talk about pop. Everyone, or a lot of people drink it, but normally pop has your least amount of caffeine. It's bad for you in other ways, the sugar and the high fruit and all that stuff, but it has the least amount of caffeine. And then you get to coffee, and to kind of compare a tall coffee compared to a Mountain Dew, so they're each 12 ounces, the coffee has 6 times more caffeine in it than a can of Mountain Dew. But coffee also has other health benefits that other types of drinks that would have caffeine in it, that doesn't. The other one is energy drinks. They vary in caffeine content, and they can be super dangerous, but not because of the caffeine in them. To put that in perspective, a normal can of Monster has 160 milligrams of caffeine in it, which a can of Mountain Dew has 55. So it still has quite a bit in it, but the coffee has still 6 times more than that can of Mountain Dew. So this is just showing different types of caffeine. So we have at the top, obviously, the coffee, which has the most caffeine, and then at the bottom, you have like over the counter, you can buy like no-dos, so you stay up at night and on there, but then it shows chocolate milk at the bottom, and it has 5 milligrams of caffeine, so that compared to your 550 coffee is quite different. Second, I want to talk about the different effects it has on your brain. A few of the different effects that it has on your brain, according to Mayo Clinic, up to 400 milligrams of caffeine a day appears to be safe for most healthy adults. That being said, if you have your coffee in the morning, but then you continue to have 4 cups a day, you're going to exceed that 400 milligrams. Some of the side effects by exceeding that is you're going to have migraines, possible insomnia, nervousness, irritability, and restlessness, among many other things. Another part of the brain that it affects is your mental. So in some cases, it's been proved that caffeine can improve performances, which makes sense in the sense of response time and processing, but even in proofreading, but only if you're taking it in moderation. If you're slamming 4 energy drinks before a class because you want to read through a book really fast, it's not really the way to do it. They also are saying that you should time your intake. So if you have a cup of coffee in the morning, maybe you want early afternoon, and so you're spreading that caffeine out throughout the day. So one thing that I found super interesting anyway was that caffeine can have a decreased risk on the suicide rate, about 45% lower risk for suicide. And then obviously you're talking about when you are going through withdrawal, you're going to have headaches. If you drink too much caffeine, you have the confusion. It does say that drinking 4 or more 8-ounce cups of coffee may lower your risk of oral and throat cancers. It's minimal, but they're saying that it's possible. And I had to break this up because the thing was too big. But these are more into if you're going through caffeine withdrawal, you're gonna have the muscle aches, or if you drink too much caffeine, what can happen. And as most of you know, I'm sure, if you drink too much caffeine, you're getting jittery, your blood pressure increases. Another thing I found interesting is that you can have fertility and pregnancy issues if you drink more than a certain amount of caffeine a day. So we've already talked about the different types of caffeine and the effects that it has on your brain. Now, my final main point, I'm going to talk about the long-term effects it can have on you. So some of the good long-term effects that it has is that when you drink coffee, like I mentioned earlier, it does have some health benefits. It can lower your risk of stroke, cardiovascular disease, some cancer and liver disease, and also, like I mentioned, caffeine can decrease some suicide and helps with your drowsiness and fatigue. Some of the bad that there are is obviously the headaches and the jittery feelings that you get from drinking too much or even going through withdrawal. But then the confusion that you can get with drinking, with overdosing on caffeine. And then you can get some internal stuff like heartburn and acid reflux problems. So in conclusion, I went over some of the types of caffeine there are, what it does to your brain, and the long-term effects that it has on your body. So the next time you think of having that second, third, or fourth cup of coffee, pop, or energy drinks, think about what it can do to your body. Any questions?
How do they recommend tapering off of your caffeine intake? Do you know?
I did read a little bit on that. They suggested going slow, so like I've quit drinking pop so many times, but I was to the point where I was drinking like 8 cans of pop a day, and so my doctor that I talked to suggested like once a week cutting back a can, because if you cut cold turkey, you're going to end up with the withdrawal symptoms.
Are there other alternatives you can do in place of caffeine that give a similar effect?
I guess I didn't look into that, but there definitely are. For trying to not do any type, because almost everything, even though you don't think so, it has caffeine. Like some of your medicines have caffeine in them, and like the salted chocolate milk has a small little bit of caffeine in it. But I did say, I don't remember which website it was, but exercising more can have the same benefits of what caffeine does to your body.
But it's so hard.
I know. Nobody wants to do that.
Well, thank you.